Welcome back, everyone, and glad you could join us for our next daily challenge. And today we're working with paper again. So today you'll need just some, basically a couple of sheets of blank paper. Okay, and what we're doing is we are going to work on pop-up cards. So here's one that I fashioned. It's fairly plain. There's not a lot of color in it. I just kept it using a pencil. It's a bit of a face monster type idea, and it has some a little bit of hair on it as well. Okay, some glued on hands, but these are not very difficult to make. It's a lot of fun. You can do a lot with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I did this. Okay, and you can take it from there and see what you can create. Okay, so like I said, we're going to start with some paper. Push this off to the side. Plain piece of paper. We are going to fold it this way. Okay, and I'm going to keep my cardboard underneath to provide a little bit of contrast so we can see the paper with the background. Okay, so we fold it in half like that. Okay, and the next thing we do is, now you can measure, you can use a ruler if you want, but I'm going to just do mostly freehand and kind of go maybe about that far. Okay, make a cut in, and then you can make another cut in like this. And what you can do, you don't have to, but what I've done in the past is I've just kind of folded it down like this, and don't press on the crease too hard, and just kind of fold it both ways just so you know it's there and it's a little even, because sometimes it might not be a little even, but that looks pretty good. Okay, and this is your basic cut. This is the first one you start with. Now if you open it up, it doesn't look like much. Okay, it's not really doing anything. It's because this piece in the middle needs to be pushed up like this. Okay, and you fold it the opposite way. Okay, so that when you move it and you open it, it's going to open like this. Okay, so it'll do that. So that's basically it. So what you've done, just to let you know again, is you fold it in half, you've cut it, and I folded it back and forth a little bit, not too hard. And then I opened it, and I pushed the inside part out and folded the opposite way. That's what makes the pop out. Okay, and then I want to fold it, press on the creases, so it starts off really well. Okay, so there's your basic start to the whole thing. Right? And now you can go as far as you really want. So let's start with the middle piece. Okay. So here is where I actually added a nose to it, and by all means you can do it a different way, but I'm just showing you how you can build on each of the folds. So what you do is you take a hold of it like this, okay, and I'm going to do it this way first, and I just made a cut. You can go this far and this far, and here again you can do the same thing I did. You can bend it down a little bit, and just to make sure that it's going to work right. It looks like it's going to work right. You don't have to press on the crease too hard. Okay, so here we are. Now it doesn't do anything because now this fold, we have to make it opposite, so we have to push it in like this. Okay, and then we press on that. I'll show you on the back side. See, on the back side, we do it like this. Okay. And then what you can do is you can push it down. Maybe I won't do that yet. I want to push on the crease there in the fold, push on the fold in the bottom. Okay. And then we'll push it down. Press it. Press on all the creases again. So we lift it up, and there we go. So it looks like that now. Okay. There's a lot of practicing, a lot of prototyping on this sort of thing, and if you do it wrong, that's fine. Just keep cutting, keep working on it, because you may want to experiment with something else. Okay, and now for the hands, let me just see how this looks so far. Yeah, so far it looks good. Now we've done this one, we've done this part right here. I haven't made my eyes yet, so maybe we'll do that next. Okay. So my eyes came from this fold right here. Okay, where the pieces came out. Right? So now I need to make some cuts there. And you do that by going to the back, where this is. Okay. And I'm going to make just a couple little cuts right here. Right. And here again, you can make it whatever size you want. Okay. Right there. And right there. I may have it a little too close, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. And right now, there's nothing there because I have to push them out. Okay, see, from the inside, I'm pushing this out. So it goes like this. And then I have to push that crease or the fold the opposite way. Okay, and then I have to maybe just touch this up here, touch this up here. If you need some help with it, ask somebody to help. Ask a brother or sister or whoever happens to be home at the time. Right, if they can just help you push the folds out. And once you do it a few times, you'll catch on. Take your time. There's no rush. Okay, and this one we are going to push out from the inside again and fold that up. Push on that one. Push on this crease as well. Okay, so there we go. Now we have two more. So you can close the whole thing again. Press on it. Make sure all your creases are nice and flat. Your folds are nice and flat. That looks pretty good so far. I think so. Okay, so there it opens up nicely. Everything pops out. Now I think I put a couple of hands on the sides. So same thing. We need these ones to stick out. Okay, so we need to make some cuts on this part. So now what we do is we can make a couple more here. Okay, and this time I am going to push it over just to make sure that I have the cuts even, because sometimes when you cut this, sometimes your cut might be a little shorter on one end than the other, and when you push it over, you know right away if you need to cut a little more. Okay, I'll show you here for example. So if I cut this one and I cut this one, if I fold it up, oh, I know right away. See how it's twisting? That means that this one needs to be cut a little bit farther, so I can do that. And there. Now if I push it up, it's like, okay, that's good. That's better. It's just a good way of, it's a balance and a check to see if it's all cut properly. So now they're not pushed up yet, so I need to push them up from the inside. So if you look here, I'm just pushing it up from the inside, and I'm making this fold go the opposite way. Okay, and I'm also pushing on this part and pushing on this part. Okay, and then I do the same on the other side. I'm pushing up on it. All right, these are a lot of fun to do. How you can create these amazing 3D images just out of a sheet of paper and a scissor. Okay, so there we've done that. And the other thing that I've done on mine is, and it's not really a pop out, is I've made some hair on the top. Okay, all I did was I just poked my scissor through. I just did this. I just poked my scissor through and cut and cut and cut, and then just curled it with a scissor. You can actually glue a piece on here of hair instead. Okay, that makes it a little more 3D, because it's hard to fold it out in terms of hair popping out, but that's the way I made mine. So I'll show you on here. See, I just cut it. If you look behind, I just made a cut, and you can just play with the hair like that. Okay, and when it folds down, it'll flatten again, or it might fold a little bit. Yep, it folds a little bit, and that's okay. Meant to look a little messy. All right, the next part is my hands. I just cut these out of paper and glued them on. That's all I did. Okay, just to make them help pop out a little bit on their hands. And this is all the same color. It's just pencil color. You can color all this as well. and I'll show you how to do that in a second. All right, so now we have that, and the mouth, same thing. I just cut a hole. All right, you see right here, I just cut a hole in that. Okay, that's all I did. So what I did is this part right here, I just turned around on the back part, and I just cut a hole around there. Okay, you could also cut a piece out to make it pop out. We'll see how that works. I'm not sure how it would work. So if we cut, let's cut a big piece. Get one out here, one out here. I think it's about right. Yeah, it looks about right. Okay, so if I push this out, and if you're having troubles following along, by all means, stop the video and take a look and work on yours. Okay, and then come back and see what the next step is. Now if we do this, so now we have, let me see, because if you make a mistake on something like the mouth, you just cut it out. It doesn't even need to stay there. I'm not sure how that looks. I guess that looks pretty good. You could draw something on there or even color that. Okay, now to color it, it's really simple because it's just folded paper. So all you need to do is push it all back like this. Okay, you can make it flat, and then you can color whatever you want to color. Okay, so for the eyes, all I did was I just made them round and colored them in. Made them round and colored them in. Same thing for the nose, right? And you can color anywhere you want, as much as you want. And if it doesn't pop back properly, then you know that it has to pop back that way. Okay, so there's my eyes. Right, and I can add eyelashes to there if I want, or eyebrows, and I can add some hair. Okay, that's what you do. Now, the back part, you have a bunch of options. As we mentioned before, with cereal boxes or Kleenex boxes are really good to use. So if you use a a cereal box, you can just cut your piece the same size as your paper and fold your cereal box in half. Your cereal box piece in half, and it will fit on the back. So I'll use a piece of paper and show you how this works. So I'm going to move this off to the side for a second. Now if I take a plain piece of paper, or if you can imagine this is your cereal box cardboard, or you can use a colored piece of paper like this, okay, whatever you have around, or even some newspaper you can put on the back, which looks kind of cool with little lettering and whatnot. All you do is you fold it in half. Okay, now this is the tricky part because you have to glue now. Okay, you do need a little bit of glue. You can use white glue, you can use stick glue. Tape won't work so well. Okay, now ideally you're going to glue it so that your creases are on the same spot so that you have your background. Okay. And the way to do that is you flip this over, okay, and everything here needs to have some glue on it. So let's just do that right now. Let's put some glue on here, and here, and on here. And if you miss a spot, that's okay. If you get a little bit too much on a spot, that's okay too. Right. Like I said, you can make more than one of these, and you can use them as your prototype, and you can make them smaller. It doesn't have to be this size. It can be smaller, it can be bigger. It can be really complex, it can be really simple. Okay, so now that middle fold, we put it on the middle of the paper or the cardboard that you want to use. Okay, and you just lay it down and you press it. Okay, and there we go. There's one half done. Now if we open it, yep, it's working. Sometimes what happens is you might glue a piece that's supposed to come up and then you need to take it off right away. So that works. Now we will put some glue on the other side because we want to make it stick to the paper. And the whole idea of putting a piece of paper behind is so that through the holes that you've cut, you don't see through it, right? There's something that's stopping it, right? And by all means too, if you use plain white paper like this, before you put it on, you can color the background. Like you can make it a different color if you want. Okay, and now we are just going to close the whole thing up. And hopefully, if we did it right, it'll open for us again. Yes, it is. Let's see, even white paper works really, really well. Okay, it opens and closes really well. And like I said, this now that's why we use a different colored paper, because now you can't see through the holes that you've cut. Okay, and you can actually, like I said before, you can color the piece of paper behind and make it a different color as well. So this you can dress up and do everything you want. So that's how you do a pop-up card, and you can do many variations, many different styles, many different sizes. Okay, so once you've finished yours, please please share your creation. We'd love to see how it turned out. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you again.